Welcome to the state of Ohio. I'm Karen Kassler. The Ohio House is holding hearings on a high-profile bill that would overhaul the state's green energy policies on utilities and could end up bailing out 2 nuclear power plants. Supporters say it will create a level playing field for all energy that doesn't produce carbon emissions and will cost ratepayers less money. But this week, lawmakers heard from opponents who argue it can hurt the renewable energy industry and lead to higher electric costs. State House correspondent Andy Chow has the latest.
Lawmakers have been hearing hours of testimony regarding the energy bill that would create the Ohio Clean Air Program and get rid of the alternative energy standards. These required utilities to invest in renewable energy and energy efficiency programs. And though the bill to create the standards passed almost unanimously in 2008, Republican lawmakers have tried several times in the last few years to scrap them. Environmental groups have long had concerns about nuclear power being considered clean or renewable energy, though it doesn't produce carbon emissions. But when it comes to this bill, the Ohio Environmental Council is against it because they say getting rid of those renewable energy requirements can result in higher carbon emissions.
Primarily because they're doing away with the 2 state policies that are delivering carbon emission reductions each and every year. The Renewable Portfolio Standard and the Energy Efficiency Standard are on track to reduce Ohio's carbon emissions by 10 million tons each year over the course of the life of those policies.
While the new bill would grant money to non-carbon emission generators, it's an incentive rather than a requirement. The bill would add a fee of $2.50 a month for every ratepayer in Ohio. That money would create $300 million in clean air credits for energy generators that don't emit carbon. But it would get rid of the alternative energy standards, which can result in more than $4 a month in costs. Demeter says it's not an apples-to-apples comparison. She says the investment in energy efficiency programs ends up saving more over time, which means a lower overall electricity bill at the bottom line.
The bill does propose to do away with a surcharge on people's bills, but for every $1 that the utilities are investing in energy efficiency, those customers are getting $2.65 back in the form of bill savings each and every month.
First Energy Solutions, which runs the Davis-Besse and Perry nuclear plants, would greatly benefit from this plan. It stands to get up to $170 million in clean air credits, more than half of the fund the bill creates. The 2 nuclear plants have been slated to close by 2021 unless they receive aid. AEP, which serves 1.5 million people in Ohio, is not officially for or against the bill. Vice President of External Affairs Tom Fraley says AEP spent years working on the alternative energy standards. He wants to make sure the energy bill would still honor those contracts. He adds that their energy efficiency programs have saved customers $1 billion. The bill would make these programs voluntary.
If you cut it off and make it voluntary, I don't know how we run a program with people jumping in and out of potentially paying an energy efficiency rider. I'm not sure how responsive we can be to something that we can't wrap our minds around that's voluntary. So, I think what we're asking for is kind of a curve to phase it out.
Fraley says AEP does like the process the bill creates to see more investment into clean air generators. He adds that the bill could create more certainty when it comes to the rules on new energy development. AEP has plans to build the state's largest solar project, but that's been pending at the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio for months.
Ultimately, you're just left in limbo a lot of times in Ohio, and if you're left in limbo long enough, you go to your other 10 states where you may not always love the rules, but you know the rules. And that's where you allocate your capital.
Many other environmental groups testified against the bill, saying it discourages wind and solar development in Ohio. Andy Chow, State House News Bureau.